So I got the call from the host of the event, who is our sister, Ekemini Uwan, a theologian and
Yes,
co-host
yes.
of the Truth's Table podcast. And she asked me to be a part of it. And honestly, I didn't even hesitate. I said, yeah, let's do it. All I knew was this was an opportunity, in my view, to talk about a different approach to faith and politics. And then they start filling out the guest speakers list. So this whole call is in the pattern of the calls that have been happening for a couple of weeks now, where you hop on Zoom, there's, probably more than a dozen people all speaking for like 5 to 7 minutes, if that. And so they started filling out the speaker list. It's our good friends, Sandra Maria Van Opstal, Latasha Morrison from
Yeah.
Be the Bridge, of
Lisa
course,
Sharon Harper.
Kemeny, Lisa Sharon Harper. You can go on and on and on. Amazing people. From the beginning, we were attacked. Not even just attacked, we were targeted. So let me read you one that came out the day that my participation was announced. I don't know who this person is. I didn't know, but Laura Loomer, founder of Loomered, and is a self-styled investigative journalist. And what she said, she went through the list and basically did a hit piece on each of us on Twitter/X. Of me, she said, one of the speakers listed by Kamala Harris's coalition, which I don't even know if there's an official link between Evangelicals for Harris and the campaign. She said, Jemar Tisby, a black supremacist, anti-white racist author who thinks white people are inherently bad and evil, gives no proof for
Mm.
that. According to Jemar, 30% of Christians are white nationalists analogous to the KKK. Jemar said, in today's terms, moderate believers in white Christian nationalism, together with adherents, make up nearly 30% of the population. That's not a gotcha, Laura. That's polling
Mhm.
that shows white Christian nationalism is not a binary, it's a spectrum. The most ardent adherents are called ambassadors, and right next to them are accommodators. They both hold similar beliefs, just at different varying levels of intensity. But when it comes to the polls, when it comes to voting, when it comes to political policies, they are identical as political creatures. And so, yeah, it's about 30% of the population. The ambassadors are about 10%, and the accommodators are about 20%. She went on to say, as you can see from the post below, she did a bunch of screenshots. Nice white people and good white people are not positive. What I had said was, Miss Laura, that nice white people, good white people aren't necessarily positive because they can be the modern day equivalent of the white moderate that MLK talks about in his letter from Birmingham jail. Right? So you're going to say it, get it right. And she goes again and calls me a black supremacist who preaches hatred against white people. And it, it, the Jamar's idea of democracy is forcing white people to pay reparations. He said so himself. And then she ends, Kamala Harris's policies are racist. That was just the beginning. That was just the beginning. And it wasn't just me. It
Mm.
was virtually everyone who participated.
So knowing that you were going to get this, because you already knew that this was going to be the response from that section and segment of people, why was it a no-brainer for you to decide to be a part?
I think in years past, when I was more embedded in reformed and evangelical circles, I would have wrung my hands about the responses of white evangelicals. And I might have been worried enough not to participate. But what I knew now, on the far side of these very painful experiences that you and I have both walked through together, is they already don't like me. They already don't agree with my politics or theology. So me not participating wasn't all of a sudden going to make them fans of mine. They weren't going to subscribe to my Substack or buy the books or be open-minded or fair about my views. So who cares? Who cares? You aren't going to persuade anybody to like you who's already written you off. So that was a big deal. That's part of why it was a no-brainer, is I was far less concerned this election than in previous cycles about what the far right would say about me. I knew it was going to come. I knew it was going to come. And then the other reason it was a no-brainer is what we frequently talked about. Democracy is at stake. This ain't no regular election. And even if it wasn't democracy writ large at stake, you've got someone who is convicted in court of multiple crimes, someone whose speeches are increasingly incoherent, someone who is unfit and unqualified in every way you can think of to hold the highest political office of the most powerful nation on the planet. Like that alone, right? And so it was just a chance for me to articulate from a faith perspective, from, a historical perspective, why I think this is such a critical election.